Let's make the easiest artisan bread you ever made. It's only 4 ingredients. We have flour, salt, yeast, and water. All right, let's get started. All right, first you want to make sure you have a kitchen scale. This is so important. Don't do this by measurements with volume, do it by weight. So first we're going to take our flour. Make sure you tear out your scale first. And then we're going to use 450 grams of all-purpose flour. All right, now that we have the flour, we're going to add about 1 tablespoon of yeast. And then we're going to add our salt. Now, I like to use sea salt here because it doesn't have all of the iodine that may make it a little bit bitter. And this we want to make sure we use the scale as well. But one teaspoon is about 7 grams. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and mix this all up. And then we're gonna add the water by using scales. So this measurement is grams, but grams for water is also milliliters. So we're gonna do 320 milliliters of water. Doesn't have to be exact, but you want to try to get as close as possible. And then we're going to go ahead and mix this. All right, so let's mix. But really, this is actually a no-knead dough and just takes very little effort. It's definitely one of my favorite breads to make and is such a crowd pleaser.
After about 1 minute of mixing, go ahead and cover it with some saran wrap to keep the moisture in. We're gonna let it rest now.
So now we have our dough. Let's put it in a nice warm space. This always works really well. Put on your oven light and then just stick it on in here. We'll let that rest for a couple hours and then come back. And this is what it looks like after 2 hours. It rose. And now we can actually take this and stick it in the fridge and bake it after it sits overnight, or we can bake it now.
Go ahead and gather up the dough here, and then we're going to put it on our baking sheet. Lay down some parchment paper and throw on a little bit of flour so it doesn't stick. Now we can shape our dough here. Sprinkle on a little bit more flour so it's easier to handle, and then we're going to make it into a little log. You can go ahead and kind of pull it a little bit, let it stretch out, or you can roll it. It's up to your preference. This is really more for a rough shape because it's still going to rise and get a little bit puffy. All right, we're gonna proof it, but I wanna make sure it maintains its shape a little bit better. So I rolled up 2 towels and then put them on the sides here to make sure that the shape is consistent as it rises. Let that proof for about 2 hours, and then preheat your oven to 425 and add a pan at the bottom shelf here. Right before we put the loaf in, we're going to add a cup of hot boiling water into the pan to create a bunch of steam. And bake for 25 to 30 minutes. When it's ready, you're going to get this beautiful golden brown color here. Let's let it cool on a rack here. Remove the parchment paper and just let it cool. Don't cut it immediately. I know that you'll be tempted to do that, but just wait at least 30 minutes. Here's your beautiful artisan crusty bread. Enjoy! Thanks for watching. See you next time.